Right here, the 518 is supposed to have two. Basically, if it's
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the three-headed monster. My name is Pandez. I will be opening today. I have a nephew who consistently loses in the 100-yard dash, but wins marathons. I told him, don't worry, you're better off in the long run. I had to break up with a tennis player once. I told them I loved them, and they said, love means nothing to me. I was in the con suite and I saw Pop-Tarts, but no Mom-Tarts. I blame the patriarchy. I heard someone say recently that Cinderella was bad at sports. But what do you expect? She had a pumpkin for a coach. One time, a girl told me she was leaving me because of my obsession with the 70s band, The Monkees. At first, I thought she was joking, but then I saw her face, and I believed her. Who is the coolest guy that is a temporary worker in a hospital? The hip replacement guy. Two fish are in a tank. One looks at the other and says, "You drive, I'm firing the cannon." My friend, who was the inventor of the USB stick, died. What can I say? Thanks for the memory. They asked if I wanted to go to his funeral at 9 a.m. And I said, no, I'm not a morning person. I recently broke up with my Microsoft gaming console. Now it truly is my Xbox. What can I say? I felt like it was time for a switch. Don't trust stairs. They're always up to something. Alkali asked if I could lift his spirits. I said best I could do is Uber you some beer. I once lay down and just watched as the earth turned, but then I got bored. So after 24 hours, I called it a day. When I go hiking, I have an eclectic playlist. I like to listen to the Peanuts theme song, Tay Zonde's Chocolate Rain, and a mix of songs by the Cranberries. I call this my trail mix. Recently, my boss asked me to nail... Fuck. Got to the last one and messed it up. Recently, my boss asked me to attach two pieces of wood together. Let me tell you, I nailed it. Messed it up on the last joke. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Three-Headed Monster. Coming out for your enjoyment now is Chris the Comedy Buddy. Zanny the Blue. And the
yeah.
What was that?
My father.
Dad's told us, hey, I hope you're ready for the most low-energy opening act you've ever seen. I'm like, yeah, we're all so tired. And then they smiled and walked out onto stage. Well played, Pandas. Well played.
You trying to be a dad anytime soon? Just like prove it with your dad jokes, like here, I got this. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
that's the thing. What they don't tell you is you don't have to have a kid to be a dad. It's just once you hit like 40, you just start doing it.
You just go. You go dad mode?
Yeah, you start telling dad jokes, you start wearing pants too high, you start while you're driving down the road, you just start reading signs as you drive past them.
Hey, you're hitting a little too close.
And if you're the
I'm not saying any of those things are bad, they're just neutral facts.
and if you're the furry fandom after 40, people are gonna call you mom or dad anyway.
That's how
You don't have a fucking choice.
That's how
Right,
I
Dad,
found
go
out.
on.
You shut up, Aunt Sanny.
Shit.
That's actually how I found out I got my first gray hair. One of you wonderful people came up to me and said, "Oh my God, you have gray hair." I'm like, I do? I have a gray hair? Like, not there. Not there. There it is. My first gray hair was Bob the Nose Hair. Why is he Bob the Nose Hair? Because if you know anything about cuticles under your skin, there are these little things that make hair. And for some reason, this one decided, no, you're not going to have a nose hair. You're going to have a nose tree. So this like triple thickness hair started to grow that I would pull out constantly because it was disgusting. And now I'm standing there talking to a gentleman who's like, "Oh, nice gray hair." Bob got their revenge.
Why is the word cuticle so, cute?
It's so cute.
It's so cute. Like, look at the little cuticle. Oh, your little cuticle. They're a little microscopic cuticle.
It made me a dad. It's not cute, it's Satan.
Don't talk about Satan that way.
Ouch.
I
Well,
was calling you cute.
Yeah.
Alkali's like Satan.
He's my other half. I was hurting for him. No.
You are like a 6'5"
Yeah! I live that way. Actually, I have a story about being a 6'5" I have a lot of stories about being a 6'5". Yes. So just recently I met a new friend, right? Like you do. I met a new friend a couple of weeks ago. They are super homeless, super trans, and super winding up in my town. And I'm just like, wow, that sucks. And they're like, I don't know one. I'm like, yeah, figured. So, okay. So I took them out to go get some groceries and be a good person, and I bought them lunch, and we were hanging back out at my house. And it was fine. You know, we were chatting about all the normal trans stuff. You know, when did your egg crack? What'd you think of Night in the Woods? That sort of shit. And then we get to one of the more deeper subjects, and, and she's like, oh, I hate shaving. I'm like, fuck shaving, right? And she's like, oh my God, the amount of damage I've done to my skin. I'm like, dude, tell me about it. And she's like, I can't. She's like, looking at my face, and she's got like, the marks and the razor. And she's like, it's always my face. I'm pretty good with my legs and arms. And I'm like, I'm terrible with my legs and arms, but I'm pretty good on my face. My legs look like a murder case. And she's like, oh wow, that's terrible. And I go, you want to see? And she's like, yeah, of course. So I'm like, okay, hang on. And I'm trying to lift up my pants, but it's these pants, and obviously that's not happening. And I'm like, So without even second guessing it, I'm like, oh, I know. Just gonna do that real quick. Well, actually, here, hang on, this will just be easier. So, okay. And so I'm like, so yeah, it's like right here and like right here, and like this one's really bad, like right here. Terrible. And she's like, oh wow, those are really bad. That's cut up really bad. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty bad. Now keep in mind, I'm not wearing like shorts. I did this so Alkali wouldn't yell at me. To this poor homeless person I've known for all of 20 minutes, I've been flashing my lady junk in her face without even a second thought.
Honestly, there's a few thoughts you should have had at this point.
Well, so I'm not saying I have the most impeccable taste in underwear, but my underwear game is pretty fucking fire. that being said, I'm wearing like these really cute My Little Pony panties, and it's fucking awesome. And we're having a normal conversation. It's totally fine. She's cool. Alkali. Everyone's cool with it. And I pull my pants up because we got done with that subject. And
That's the greatest reason ever to pull up your pants.
Next.
And next.
And next.
Scene.
Yeah.
so I drop her back off at the shelter. I go to work. I'm like vacuuming or some shit. And then I was like, oh, fuck. I finally realized what I had been doing. Flashing my junk in front of a homeless trans girl for like 20 minutes that I had known for maybe an hour. And I was like, so I sent her a text saying, hey, I'm sorry I did that. And she's like, oh no, it's cool. Honestly, like you clearly were just showing me your scars. It kind of reminded me of my little sister. And I'm like, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And there was one of the moments where I was like, yeah, I do pretty much have the problem-solving skills, modesty, and fashion sense of a 5-year-old girl.
But that's the thing, is your underwear game is so on point. I think it distracts from it of the junk. Cause like, oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, that's cute. That's fun.
Cause like you showed me, you had like dinosaur skirt and like no, it was the other way around.
Yeah, no, I had dino skirt.
Yeah.
And I had meteor undies underneath.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's a whole story.
Yeah, so it's all like, you're cool with the meteor.
Your ass is an extinction level event.
Careful, Apple, I'm only 5.
But 6 foot.
But 6 foot, baby. 6 foot of 5-year-old.
Wow.
So is anyone recording this? Because when I get a therapist, I think I can get it for free at this point. Hi. I was driving recently. Had a long drive ahead of me, and when you're driving, you need to distract yourself, and I thought, some good music. What would be a good show to, maybe something I could sing along to? Well, if you follow my YouTube channel, you know that Shel Silverstein's The Great Smoke-Off. I somehow performed and memorized that. Why? Because I listened to it about 40 times a day when I was 18. It's that simple. Because Shel Silverstein is actually a very adult author. And he does a lot of adult songs. And The Great Smoke-Off, the beauty that it is merely about 2 people smoking marijuana in a stadium the way God intended. But I had been gifted something brand new on this day. Zanny had gotten me YouTube music. It's so cool, no commercials. I can listen to the songs I want, so I put on Shel Silverstein's The Great Smoke-Off. I got the windows rolled down. I was breathing in the cold air even though it was 90. In other words, smoke was coming in the window. But you get the idea. And I'm driving along and the song ends and I'm having a good time and the next song comes up and it's a bop. It's really going. It's got a good guitar riff. I've never heard it before. Like, yeah. Jesus. Okay, I'm just gonna skip. Shel Silverstein to Jesus, huh? Okay. Next song comes on, probably about your underwear, because it was about dinosaurs and media. It was really kind of cute. I got through about half of it, and I'm just not feeling it. I go to the next one. Veggie Tales. Wait a minute. Shel Silverstein, well, may being a very, very adult author, also made the Shel Silverstein books, the children's poetry. What I had stumbled on was a YouTube channel playlist that was playing me Christian rock and children's songs because I looked up Shel Silverstein. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And as I go to reach for the phone to change the station, I have the other realization. If you search on YouTube music for Christian rock and children's songs, you have a chance of getting The Great Smoke-Off by Shel Silverstein. Playing and all I can imagine is going down the road, mom and dad in the front seat, having some latke bread, yelling to the kids in the back seat, you're excited about seeing grandma? Yeah! In the laid-back town of sunny Sandraford lived a girl named Pearly Sweetcakes. I bet you knew her well. She'd been stoned 13 of her 18. Oh, shit! I want to be in that car. 2 reasons. 1, how do you explain the mad dash to change the radio station? And 2, sometimes I get sad and there's a good chance that car is crashing.
Oh man. Hey, it's God's herb or something. Sure.
God's herb.
Christian rock is the best.
Christian rock is the best.
Oh my god, it's so good. Okay, so the car I bought from Shady People, that I'm pretty sure it's a Chop Stop car, but the car I bought from Shady People had a Christian rock CD like stuck in it. And one of the songs in it was talking about like the Holy Ghost, right? But the song itself takes like 14 verses to be like, there's a ghost, but it's not like a spooky ghost. And the whole like, there's a ghost inside of me, not one that looks like a bed sheet. And I'm just like, oh, this is the greatest thing in the world. Spooky Jesus.
It's the fact that like ghosts are usually bad, but Holy Ghost is so in the thing. You gotta make it good.
Yeah, he's a little hole, but he's not a spooky ghost.
Yeah, Casper.
Yeah, Casper's Jesus. The Father, the Son, and Casper.
Casper Jesus.
Casper Jesus.
It's kind of like your life was written by Disney right after their first acid trip. I'm just going to throw that out there.
That's not inaccurate. Like the one time I tried to remodel my room.
Oh, please.
I'm scared to ask, but what?
Okay, so anyways,
I was scared to ask.
so this is the apartment I'm currently in, but I moved there like a couple of years ago, you know, not including the COVID years. So I moved there and when I was moving there, I was like, that's it. I'm gonna fucking be a grown-up. I'm gonna have a nice fucking grown-up room. No more mattress on the floor. No more like piles of shit everywhere. I'm doing it. So I went out and I bought a bed frame and I bought a new dresser and I bought I brought like bed sheets and a bed skirt and I was like, I'm doing it. And so I do everything. I get there, I get my dresser, and I put a bunch of stickers on it, and I put, I'm like, it's organized, so I put a snail on the top for socks, because it's alliteration, and then I put a crab on my underwear drawer, because it's funny.
To ward off the real ones, I get it.
Yeah.
After his first acid trip.
So, and what was it? Oh yeah. Then I put a bunny on the bottom and a fox on the top, because I'm still a freaky weirdo. Then I set up like a beanbag chair in a corner, and I have a little bookcase thing to hold all of my books for reading. And so I'm like really excited. I can do that. And then I even got a hammock for all my stuffed animals so they wouldn't fall off my bed all night. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I really am a big girl now. I'm killing this. And so my coworker at the time was helping me move a couple of things, you know? Like helping me move the last few things in the house. And I'm showing him the apartment, and he's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then we're getting to the crown jewel, and I'm like, this is gonna be great, because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna swing this door open in a second, and he's gonna see the room, and he's gonna be like, oh my God, whoa, Chris, you're so grown up. Whoa, is that like a dresser, like an organized one? Yeah, it is, yeah, it's not a big deal, that's cool. And like, whoa, do you even have like, whoa, are all your stuffed animals organized? Whoa, you really are grown up. Your dad was wrong about you. And I'm like, well, what are you gonna do? It's not a big deal or anything. So as I'm creaking the door open and revealing my crown jewel, that sounds terrible. I just realized that. Sorry. I'm a 5-year-old. Anyways.
6 foot.
6 foot. So, 6'5". You're old. Okay. So anyways, cracking the door open, and he goes, whoa, Chris, I didn't know you had a daughter.
6'5".
And I'm just like, oh no. That's not what I thought he was gonna say at all. Yeah!
Yes!
I thought I can't believe I haven't mentioned her before. It's crazy. And he's like, a lot of stuffed animals. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, don't worry, she'll pick one or two and grow out of them. I'm like, oh yeah, here's hoping.
I take it back. Disney after their first bad acid trip. Understood, yes.
A very special episode.
Very special episode of Mickey Mouse Steamboating Willie. That's right.
So then he pops the question, and I'm like, I do. No, he pops the question, so where is she? And I'm like, well, you know. And he's like, no, don't worry about it. You don't have to tell me. The amount of stuff I have to do to see my daughter is a lot. You don't have to say anything. And I'm just like, holy shit! Bury the lead, coworker.
Honestly, I'm just shocked you didn't Mrs. Doubtfire. There's like, yeah, I just got a banana cream pie right here. Hello! My room! Hey, you're about 6 foot. I'm going to throw it to Zanny in a second. However, you said something about your bookshelf, how it's used to store things, and that reminded me, because a friend of mine is in the audience right now. Years ago, I helped out at a place called Stonehouse Park. We actually renovated a lot of this stuff, and during that, we had to go into the cellar and clean it out, and found this giant, gorgeous shelving unit filled with empty coffee cans. We're not talking about 5 or 6. We're talking about like hundreds of empty coffee cans and one book. Where do you think we went? We go to the book, pull it off the shelf, open it, and my buddy Steve goes, oh my God, this is heroin. And at the top of the stairs, his mother, Nancy, did you find illegal narcotics in my basement? And Steve, don't come down here, Ma! To which she responds immediately, oh, I've heard that one before. Nancy, thank you so much for being here. It's actually been 1 year anniversary since I've seen Nancy. I did not get to see her since the last con. My dear, it's so good to see you. And Zan, speaking of anniversaries.
Oh dear.
You had one back in January.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. Both in January and February, and actually this con's very weird because, well, for a few reasons. We had the last one. Stuff happened after the last one we had here, as you can remember, and I'm a lot different from then. And what that's all about is, actually tomorrow is my HRT anniversary. So my 1 year of HRT.
I'm older. I'm 5, you're only 1.
I know, right?
I hate you both so much.
So it's been crazy, and just part of the whole thing is when I came out at first way back in February 2021, I was part of the great egg cracking of 2021. It was, right?
Oh no, I get it.
It's
like the world dropped a whole pallet of them.
Yeah, the pandemic slammed into God's fucking egg case and all fucking fell out. Oh no! All of my eggs. God's telling now for some reason. What am I gonna do?
A country farm truck tipped over.
Yeah.
And a whole shipment of eggs cracked.
Yeah, so it's part of that whole shit.
He was playing chicken. Leave him alone.
Oh yeah. So yeah, when it came out, I didn't know this term existed so hard until it happens to me. Your journey. I'm so excited for your journey. Good luck on your journey. And I was like, okay, I guess. And I did. And now I get it. Because it's called a journey because there's so many goddamn fetch quests involved. I have a heart history, so I had to go to doctors. I had to go get EKGs by hand because doctors don't understand email and that's not valid. So they want fax machines to still be valid, and it feels like a scam. You falsified that document somehow. It's like, what? And I had to hold up a document to my phone while talking to my doctor so he could look at the line and stuff after ghosting me and shit. You get it, right?
Yeah.
It's so because so many of these, if you don't poke the doctors, they're just fuck off into the sun, and you might never ever hear from them again. And you look lost in the system. So
like, I'm golfing. I can't be bothered.
right? Yeah, this dude's like on the end of his retirement or something. He checks his email twice a week.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to be someone's 5 o'clock Friday appointment.
That's right, exactly.
Oh, okay, no, hold on. Yes, you do. If you're going M to F, you just want a hole in one.
That was bad and you should feel that.
I do feel bad, but I've got wine.
Well, it's funny you say that because like I am like I wasn't able to smoke weed this weekend because not that I would because we're in Wisconsin because you know how that works.
Not at all.
Nope. And so like I'm just like trying to go to bed and staring at the ceiling because that's what you do when you come off weed. And so
Or heroin. Yeah.
But like Mama needs her sleep medicine.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Apparently it wasn't an acid trip I'm seeing now.
I've never done heroin.
You put a lot of emphasis on the word done. What have you done? Never mind.
Oh boy.
Let me go.
All right. So
Let me
anyway.
go.
I mean, I don't want to be rude and take up a lot of time.
So yeah. But the thing is, like, I'm also about a month away from my bottom surgery, which is fucking amazing, and I'm really excited for it.
Get that Polly Pocket, girl!
I'm getting my Polly Pocket.
And I got in trouble for the hole-in-one joke?
Yes, because you're
We
you.
can make that joke.
Yeah, high five. See? That's how comedy works.
We're taking it back, bitch. That's our word. Polly Pocket.
And then it's like, well, yeah, when you transition, you're like, oh, you're getting a pocket? Well, we're taking all your pants pockets away.
Whoa.
Yeah, right? It's like that, like you get, these women's jeans, they fit so well, and you're like, oh no. Because it's like the pockets are like
You have no
an inch deep.
Yeah, you have no left or right. You only have the front.
I go up to Target, I'm like, excuse me, I want full depth on my jeans.
I need the full depth. I only have minimum depth right now.
Yeah.
These are very specific trench jokes. Okay.
And speaking of which, holy shit,
Yeah.
Costco has fucking tights that have pockets, which holy shit, it's Costco, because, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's just a tip. That's not funny at all.
That's just a point. Pepper and I got kicked out of a Costco. FBLFC.
Whoa, do tell, real quick.
Oh, yeah. So, anyways, Pepper and I were waiting for sushi or whatever, and then we went to a Costco across the street to just kill some time. You know how it goes. But we go into the Costco, and they weren't checking anyone's cards. So sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. They usually will card you at the checkout when they catch you or whatever. But we were walking past, and the lady goes, "Hey, you two can't come in without a card." And I was like, "Well, you didn't check that group of people's cards or that person's card. How come you're checking the two queers' cards?"
Damn.
And she's all like, "Well, you just need a card." And I'm like, "Where do you get a card?" And then Pep's like, and then I'm like, "Where do you get a card?" And it's like, "Right over there." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll go over there then." And then Pep and I start walking over there, and then we walk right past the card station. We go into the bathroom, hang out in the bathroom. Me and Pep kind of sneak into Costco, and we're walking around Costco illegally, apparently. We cross through a vitamin section, and some guy walks up behind me, and Pep's right in front of me, and Pep kind of zoom and bones out, and I'm like, I get it. I wouldn't go down for someone else too. So Pep zooms past me, and he's like, "Hey, do you have a card?" And I was like, "Oh, nope, you caught me." I'm not gonna try and fight it. I was like, "I done got caught coloring on the walls. It's cool." And he's like, "What about that person that was with you? Do you know them?" And I was like, No, we were just bonding over calcium. Anyways, he starts walking me out, and then out of fucking nowhere, Pep leaps over nothing, and it's like, "Hey, I noticed that you didn't check anyone else's card. How come you didn't check anyone else's card? How come when the two queer people show up, you start checking their cards?" And I'm like, "Pepper, I love you." And then our sushi was ready.
Oh. That's a happy ending.
Yeah, it worked out.
So you were the Costco faggots.
Yeah! That's an old bit.
That's a really
Back when that word was okay. More so.
Oh,
Yeah. It's okay, we're saying it.
Oh, you
We'll just say that.
say Polly Pocket.
That's fair, that's fair.
No, you can take back the F word.
Excellent.
No, it's true, right. Well,
Take back
anyway.
the night.
Yeah. So anyway, more trans shit. Well, what's funny is like, and I'm sure for another reason they call it a journey. There's even bosses they have to fight. Because like, you even have to face a doctor or a therapist, you don't know what you're gonna go against.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's like, you gotta ask you these weird fucking questions, and they're like super awkward just to pass.
They're literal threshold guardians.
Yeah.
Some of them are like, what are you doing in this bathroom? And it's like, bitch, I'm gonna pee. What are you doing?
Exactly. So I get to them and they're like, to get your HRT, you must answer me these questions 3. What is your name? Zanny. Please don't call me other thing. Okay, we got that down. All right. Why do you want to change your gender? Going to the bathroom just wasn't scary enough. I don't know. When I'm in public, I just, when I gotta take a whiz, I want to hear RPG battle music in the back of my head when I'm going towards the bathroom.
I just got so sick of all this privilege and white dudeness I have.
I need that possibility of being maced by a Karen just because I gotta take a piss, you know?
I need it hard mode.
Yeah, I need that excitement in my life.
God, I hate making more than 75 cents on the dollar.
So yeah, these smart ass answers are going on in my head. Of course, I'm not gonna say it, but God, that's why I gotta tell you when I'm going through these. And of course they're like, why do you want to get bottom surgery? Wind resistance? Zippers make me anxious. I just feel it's like, hey, you get that thought, or like, I'm running in the wind, like, oh, I'm freezing my dick off. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. So like,
what if that went farther?
Too far.
For you.
So
gay man.
No, well, speaking of that, well, like, the first person I really came out to was Alkali.
Yeah.
And, like, when we were like fucking falling asleep in bed, and I fucking surprised him with that shit.
Oh, nice. So was it just like, I'm going to bed, Zan, I love you. And you're like, I really want a fucking vagina.
Basically.
No, I would have killed for it to be that. You need to understand. Myself and Sandy are very good at communicating because I have a rule. Super good at communicating. Shut up, you 6'5" Because when Zanny wants to tell me something, they start hemming and hawing. And I realize there's something I can do that will make, because they love me. This person truly loves me. So I just hold my breath until I'm ready to die. And right beforehand, they tell me what they wanted to fucking say. But usually it's something like, I don't know if I want my panel at 8 p.m. tonight. I'm like, oh, no, dude. So this time, like, I've got to talk to you. I'm like, okay, what's up? Well, I'm like, okay. Alkali, this is really important. Alkali, this is really important. You don't do this. Alkali, don't do this. Alkali, don't do this to me. Not this time. Alkali, don't do this. Because I'm an asshole. And as I'm losing consciousness, I want to cut off my dick. I inhaled my pillow.
That's how you answer that third question. Why do you want bottom surgery? I want to comment.
Well, the funny thing is, and if you remember way back, the first Fursquared, when I was looking at it, when I was really first considering all this transition, I got scared away. Long story that I may never get into, but yeah. Basically, I told a story on stage about how, like, I looked into it, and there's all sorts of work involved, and, like, I was, like, pulling and process, like, I could barely take care of my cat. And that's a low-maintenance pussy. No way to take care of a high-maintenance pussy. So, of course, Alkali remembers this. And I say, hey, Alkali, remember that joke I said in Fursquared? And he's like, yeah. Well, the cat is dead, so...
Oh, thank God!
He laughed.
I did.
I was gonna connect those dots, but I was worried it was gonna offend you.
No, I went there first.
Good, I'm glad.
Like,
You can make that joke.
No, it's all right. It's
That's
all right. So yeah, it's been fun. It's good times.
It is.
It is. I've been way happier, and you've gotten my. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm not a mood swinging bitch, but yeah.
just say I'm not you can't just lob it in there for me like that. Honestly, I can't believe, because I am not an observant person. Half the time I'm wrapped up in my own world. They could have went through the entire transition and one day came home like, Alkali, ding, like, oh my God, what happened? Like, Alkali, you're so funny, I laughed my balls off. I would have accepted you.
God, you sound like me when I was imagining what that guy was gonna say. No, you're just so funny, Alkali.
So, but no, we have good whole thing about it now. Like, maybe we make a statue with like just a memorial, and just like have like Dave from 1980 to 2022 or something. yeah, you get it. In memoriam statue.
In memoriam.
Yeah, you get it.
Well, actually, a common practice, not like super common, but a common practice for a lot of trans girls before they get bottom surgery, if they choose to get bottom surgery, do you? They will get molds of their dick.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
right.
get a mold of your dick, and then you can fuck your vagina with your dick.
Yeah.
Wait! Stop! There are two things. One, you specifically told me I cannot have your dick in a jar, and now you're just telling me I can. And two, I have seen what happens when you try to make coffee. You're gonna make a mold of your dick, my wall will be covered in weird shit. I have the Dragon Show logo on my kitchen wall because you don't understand paint goes through fabric. If you end up screwing my bathroom door, I'm leaving. I'm coming back, all my shit is there.
See, no, here's the thing. I know I'll go through with it because I can't help myself. Because if anyone gives the insult to me, I can fulfill the insult to me if they tell me to go fuck myself.
Like, yeah, I will.
I'm gonna go right now, bastard. Okay.
You want to fuck myself?
Oh shit. Anyway.
Chris,
Oh, yes.
you're like a 6'5" Tell us another story about that. I need more wine.
We need more Trans Sesame Street. Give it to me, baby.
Trans Sesame Street. So, speaking of Trans Sesame Street.
Oh dear.
Actually, no, that's not a good answer. That's not
a good idea.
That's not a segue. It doesn't work as a segue.
What's the opposite of a segue? What was that?
Yep.
A car!
That's true.
So the first person I dated for like 10 years. And we did all right, except for it was a bad idea because neither one of us understood anything. So, anyways, she broke up with me. And the reason she broke up with me was because she said, sometimes dating you is like dating a 5-year-old. And I'm just like, yeah, no, I get it. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool, I get it. And she's like, yeah. So we parted ways, but at the time, that really fucking sat weird. I'm like, oh God, and it really ruined me. So I started like trying to date, which never worked for me. I don't worry about it now. But I started trying to date, and the whole time I'm like, I'm going to be an adult. I'm gonna be so fucking grown up. No more anyone thinking I'm a fucking 5-year-old. That's it. I'm gonna be a grown up. It's fucking badass. So I get talking to this girl. We agree to go on a date, and then I pick her up, and we're driving. I pick her up, and we're driving to the place. We're gonna go on a nice little picnic. And so we go to the store, and I buy like the shit for a charcuterie tray and some wine. Charcuterie? I told you I'm only 5. It's a big word for me. Charcuterie. That's charcuterie. So I buy the charcuterie tray, and we're looking at the wines, and I notice something out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, oh, because it's a fucking red ball with polka dots on it, and in my mind, I'm like, holy shit, it's a ball with polka spots on it. I want it really bad. I need to buy it like right now. I need to fucking get that ball. But all I got out was, And she's like, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, wine's really expensive. And I'm like, no, I'm a grown-up. I can't go having a little autism over this fucking polka dotted ball. I'm a grown-up. So we get the stuff, we get in the car, and we're driving, and my date's like, hey, I'm a sex worker. And I'm like, cool, I'm a janitor. This is a weird way to start a conversation, but I guess it's technically small talk. And she's like, I've been totally honest, because I have a hotel room and a couple of clients lined up in a couple hours. Would it be okay if we maybe did like an indoor picnic thing at the hotel room? And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that works. So we go to the hotel room, and we're having a nice little indoor picnic, and we turn on the TV, and I'm like, oh shit, Cartoon Network, and I'm like, no, never mind, we're gonna watch cop shows. Those are cool. And overall, the date goes fine. We're having a good time. We're getting to chat. We're doing great. And then she's like, all right, well, I got to start getting ready for my first client. And I'm like, yeah, totally. And she's like, you want to help me do my makeup? Like, I got you, girl. So we go into her bed. We go into her bathroom. I help her do her makeup. I touch up her bangs. I figure out her outfit for her. And she's like, oh, you got great sense of style. I'm like, what can I say? Fashion sense of a 5-year-old. So I get this bitch dolled up for her first client. And I'm like, all right, we good. Peace, because I'm like, that's the end of the date. And then she's like, could you maybe hang around? Like, just in case something happens. Like, I don't think anything will, but like, just in case something does happen, can you hang around? And I was like, yeah, sure, but like, watching? And she's like, no, you can go like hang out in the pool or something. I'm like, there's a pool? So I went out to the pool, and I hung out in the pool, and I ate some chips, and I sat in the sauna, and like, she fucked 6 dudes. What?
As one does on a Tuesday.
Yes, one does on a Tuesday. So she fucks some 6 dudes, and then I get a text from her. It's like, hey, it's really not a big deal. It's just like this one guy isn't leaving yet. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I go down to the hotel room, and I come in the door, and he's sitting there like, he's like, I have this really cool farm upstate, and I like to skateboard at the farm, and here's some photos of me skateboarding. And he's just literally just not like getting that he came, his transaction is done, he needs to move along in line. So I kind of like, hey dude, what's up? He's like, oh, hello. And like, he's totally cool with me just showing up, which is like, that's cool. So I like talk to him, and I kind of lead him toward the door, and I get him to his car, and he's like telling me about his fucking skateboard farm or whatever. And then I go back in the hot room, and I was like, you all good? And she was like, yeah, I'm totally fine. I appreciate that. I'm like, yeah, it's all good. Sometimes, it's weird. Shit's weird. And she's like, cool. And I'm like, so, do you want to maybe like, go see a movie this weekend? Or, yeah, I'm trying to get day 2, right? Because as far as I'm aware, this has been going great. There is nothing weird in my mind. Not a single alarm went off in my brain.
Horny Disney after their first acid trip.
So I'm chatting. So she's like, well, you are really fun. I'd love to be friends with you, but like, I don't know if we could like date. It's just, I don't know, it'd be like dating my little sister. And I'm like, son of a bitch! And I'm just like, And she's like, but here's your cut, and gives me like $200 in cash. Dirty cash, but it's very sweaty. She gives me $200 in sweaty bills, and I walk out the door, and I was like, oh shit, I was a pimp! And then I had that realization, but then I had a bigger realization, because I'm like, I just got $200, you know what I can do? Buy that motherfucking ball!
Horny Disney after their first acid trip where they suffered severe head trauma.
6'5",
Oh, man.
Zan?
Yes. All right. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, I didn't want to do the stuff I just did, especially we've been doing a couple cons, especially local recently, and I didn't want to allow y'all to see. And I didn't want to do the same stuff I did there. You heard some jokes, but I wanted to do some new stuff. And I was talking to Chris about trans stuff, as like you do. Mm-hmm. And you reminded me of my first coming out to my parents when I thought I was a gay guy.
Oh yeah,
that whole journey. Because boy, howdy, it was a journey. Cause
close, but not quite there.
Yeah, exactly. Because like, my parents are very conservative, and they were just like, they knew something was up for a long time. But they were still way off the ball, of course. So like, they thought I was on drugs. And I'm just like, oh no. This is gonna be a fucking ride. So it's like in the back of my head, I'm just like, no, I'm addicted to dick, sorry.
poppers.
Oh shit!
Dilate and masturbate.
So I laugh about the drug thing, and then of course, like, you know, my mom takes a random guess on the wheel of guesses, as you do as a mom. Like, wait, you're gay?
You don't have a lisp?
That's right. That was the thing
the
back in
weird
the day.
shit. You
Yeah,
don't-
you watch Will and Grace.
No.
What the fuck?
No, it wasn't you don't have a lisp. What was the one they actually told you? It wasn't you.
Which
We
one?
never caught you wearing mom's clothes. Wasn't that one of the...
That was it.
Yes,
That was it.
yes.
And when that shit happened, there was the longest fucking pause in the world. Because I had.
The only way to make that better is if it was being recorded, and as you look off into the distance as they say that, the Larry David theme song just starts playing.
Well, you get it. That was my first big anyway.
Oh, that's your origin.
My origin
That's
story.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
the first episode of The Dragon Show.
Yeah, so if I ever get in the Marvel Universe, I'll be on there. On Disney Plus for some reason. No, plus AD, who knows. No, but like, it just made me remind me of all that. And, well, the funny thing is, like, later, because I don't know what the fuck they thought I did. I know they're just like hoping I'm the top, because, you know, parents. And it's,
Well, if he's gonna be gay, at least I want him to be straight gay.
yeah, right? But then, you know how, so I already tell you how my parents think. I mean, my mom literally thought, because she wore jeans and it wasn't feminine enough, that's what made me. And that was a whole thing. So like, I know!
I love
You only just turn and walk after that. There's no response.
You're like, alright.
But the funny thing is, later they met Alkali, and that was a journey, because I know my dad, I'm just looking up, and like, oh, my dad's like this tall, Alkali's up here. I just know it in my dad's mind, he's like, fee, fi, fo, fum, I'm the guy who fucks your son.
That's a 6-foot fag. I couldn't think of a good answer.
But things are better now, so yeah.
Hey, Alkali, since Xenia is now your wife, does this mean you can tell straight jokes?
Oh boy.
We've had a long discussion about this, and I have decided that I'm either going to remain gay or die of irony. That's right. Once they make the clone of their dick, they're fucking me with it.
Dick clone.
Dick
Yeah.
Dick clone. Woo!
Dick clone.
I like that. We should all make dick clones. We'll make a day of it. Yeah, we'll just sit there and slather resin on our dicks, be like, say Alkali, look.
I've already tried it like 3 times and destroyed his garage, so.
You make fucking mess!
Well, first it was the bathroom. I think I clogged your toilet with plaster. One of the.
That was you! You need to tell me when you do this. I have low self-esteem and dietary problems. I thought I needed to go to the hospital.
Zan, I'm 5 and even I know you're not supposed to eat the plaster.
Oh shit.
I'm cleaning the house like, hey, what's this? I put a hole in the wall. God damn it. Hey, what's this? I ran the coffee machine and didn't put a cup on it. God damn it. Hey, what's this? Dicks.
Why are there dick prints everywhere?
Because we were recording the 12 Days of Christmas.
I don't know how to do this, Todd. I just need to get it out of my brain. The idea of like the 2 footprints or the 3 footprints in the sand or whatever, but it's just 3 dick prints in the sand. It's like he's there. There's you make a fucking joke. I put the comedy clay in front of you.
Oh, thanks for the Way to turn it just back into exactly what happened. So one day I got a package in the mail, and inside was a baggie filled with powder and a picture of a penis. And I said, Sam, what the hell did you order? And is this my cocaine in your order?
Oh, you both ordered.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I got it from Costco.
Hey, let you in?
I have a membership!
Oh, they're so progressive. Are you the token?
What fun is I don't have a membership? Thanks, Fursquared. Fursquared needs a lot of stuff. I have a ton of Fursquared memberships everywhere. Restaurant Depot, Sam's Club, Costco, and one day I'm out with my father. I open up my wallet, take out the credit card to buy gas, and he sees in there Costco, Sam's Club, all these different, like, oh my God, no wonder you gained so much weight. Damn! Love you, Dad.
Damn.
Just because you're buying in bulk doesn't mean you need to bulk up, son.
Oh, that reminds me of how my first persona was a husky because everyone called me Husky, and I was like, and my neurodivergent ass was like, oh, so that means I'm a dog.
Owned it. I think
I didn't mean to own it. I was just dense.
I thought you connected dots.
No, not even a little bit did I connect those dots. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Everyone calls me a dog. And they're like, that fat motherfucker. This fat, weird, autistic kid just keeps showing up everywhere.
I seriously just thought you were doing what we do normally. Like, we're sitting at the dealer's table, and like I'm doing a transaction, and I say to Chris, like, everything I do is a transaction.
Do we want to tell them about our new business idea?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, so we were talking about our new business idea, and it's gonna be a barbershop called Trans Girls Groom Your Kids.
Yes!
And so like they're gonna be all, and it's just nothing but
And we give them the best fucking haircut they've ever
They're
had.
gonna give the best fucking haircut in the world. There's gonna be a special for blue hair and pronouns. And what's gonna happen is these dads are gonna come in, they're all like, man, fuck you! My kid said they're the they, them, but I'm a little pissed off because most of you are conservative, so you're communistic, so your prices are fair, and they have the best haircut I've ever seen. But damn it, I don't understand pronouns.
And then, yeah, they start going on like Archie Bunker. We're like, I cheese, eat it. I think our kid eat it. Yeah, I think our kid is one of the flag peoples.
Ah, Christ, meathead, you don't understand.
One of the flag peoples?
One of the flag peoples.
Tell me Archie Bunker wouldn't call them flag peoples.
We're one of the flag peoples now. I had to rip out all the vegetation in front of the house. And I was complaining because I wasn't able to go out and buy new things to plant. And one day, Zan sends me a message while I'm work. Don't worry about the bushes. I got it. I'm like, oh my God, that's great. I get home. There's a trans flag. There's a gay pride flag. It's like, not what I was thinking, but at least now the neighborhood knows that they should either stay the hell away or visit way more often.
It was way easier than making a good garden, so.
Ah, Christ, Edith, I was in the bathroom the other day and I didn't notice that this guy had a dick or a vag or whatever it was.
Oh my God.
Don't confuse it for me, Edith.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I'm
I'm not done.
So speaking of uncomfortable stories, speaking of my medical adventures, my Medicaid doctor's kind of a wacko, and I deal with her because she's free, and you get it. And so I'm getting my standard numbers, and I'm getting my estrogen, my other stuff.
Yeah,
so you're like, hey, just throw the other shit on there, all the other tests, because you're taking my blood anyway. Might as well run the gamut.
Yeah, really make that value out of that blood. You'd like that, all right, Alkali? You love the value.
I need more wine.
So she tells me to come in instead of telling me the shit over the phone like we talked about before. It's like, okay. So I come in and I go into the office. She gives me a big fucking packet. I was like, okay, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Like, okay. I start reading through this, and the back of the fucking thing says hepatitis B in bold letters, positive. I'm like, what the fuck? And so I'm panicking. I'm like, what the hell? What is this? And she comes in and says, oh, hi, Zan, how you doing? She's yeah, hey, what's this last thing about? I go, oh, that means that you're immune to it. You must have taken your vaccines or you're immune. It's like, oh, why did you do this?
Really what it's saying is, it's positive you don't have it.
But wait, there's more, because asshat.
Yeah.
What did you do later that day?
Well, I had such a great adventure. I thought Alkali should go through the same journey. So like Alkali, I went to the doctor's today, and I was handed a packet, and I just tell you the story just the same way as I tell him. And I just watch his eyes get as big as saucers. And tell me what you said he was going through your head.
First off, you did not tell it the way you told it. You told it at this speed. So, piece of paper said I was positive for hepatitis B. Allow me to regale you the story. And in my head, I'm like, all right, do I murder him for the dick powder on the wall? I have no idea what's going on, but I'm waiting for the end. I'm waiting for the punchline. I'm waiting to find out how they are telling me they are positive for hepatitis B with a fucking smile. And my last thought is, of course, oh, they want me dead. I understand. I want that too.
Some weird vengeance trick I'm paying on you or something? Yeah,
The long con.
The long
con.
You are good at what you do.
One thing that really bothers me about the medical industry, there's a lot of things that bother me about the industry, but one of them is, who the hell thought full-blown gets to be a real medical term?
Right?
Like, I looked it up and I was like, oh, that must be like a thing. And then I'm like, no, that's a fucking diagnosable medical term. You get full-blown AIDS, not like half a serving of AIDS. And I'm like, that is absurd. That would be like if a doctor came in and like, we got your test results back and you got a humdinger of a tumor in your brain.
Man, you don't have a plethora of white blood cells.
Golly, you certainly are low on one of them little guys. Which, what?
Oh, shit.
Chris, my friend, you are truly a 6'5" Zanny. You are going through some incredible shit in your life, and I cannot tell you how amazingly impressed I am with how you were able to handle everything. You are seriously one of the bravest people I've ever met. Guys, this has been the Three-Headed Monster. I want to thank you all. Give it up for Chris the Cappy Button. Give it up for Zanny the Blues. Are you thinking you're opening it? Pandas? My name is Alkali. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're enjoying the con. Don't forget, our charity this weekend is the Haws Association. If you can give, and if you can't, don't worry about it. We are furries. They're going to cry tomorrow.
Yeah.
Have an awesome evening and good night.
Silver Gattoman, he bought me a coffee. Silver Gattoman, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silver Gattoman, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.